So let's make Gojo in Minecraft. Now, I know it's been quite a while since I've last uploaded, probably been around 4 months by the time this video uploads, but hey, here we are. Now, recently I've just been focused on building a more traditional career as a software engineer. Between preparing for job applications and keeping up with college, it's just been quite a lot to juggle, so I didn't really have the time. Like the first couple of months I spent relearning web development, reinforcing my skills, and building a portfolio page just so I have something to show the recruiters. And fast forward to today, I've applied to over 80 companies, and so far I've been rejected or ghosted by every company. Quite unfortunate. Anyways, let's dive into the actual main topic of this video, because obviously this isn't about me talking about my life. The limitless technique. For those who are familiar with ProjectJJK, you know that the limitless technique currently has the basic versions of red, blue, and purple. I try to keep things as simple as possible when I first made this mod, because I didn't want to overwhelm myself, but now that I feel more comfortable with modding, I think it's time for us to take it to the next level. So in today's video, we'll be adding the mastery versions of red and blue, reworking infinity, and finally creating the imaginary technique, purple. Now, I just want to let people know beforehand, there will be some adjustments in the mod for the sake of game design and balance. My main focus is on gameplay. I want to make sure that players aren't forced into certain classes just to have fun. Instead, I want them to choose a class that fits their playstyle, not just whichever one is overpowered. And so in order to make that happen, I'm going to improvise a little bit. But yeah, with that being said, let's start with infinity. If you guys came from Instagram or TikTok, you guys are probably already aware of what the new infinity looks like. But just for those who haven't seen any of that, I'll do a quick recap on what the old infinity was and what the new one. So I'm gonna go to game mode survival and summon a skeleton. Now, currently I don't have infinity active, so I'm going to be taking damage. And so let's activate infinity. This is the old one. And wait till yep. So the current issue with the infinity is that visually it lacks the actual infinity effect, where the objects and entities slow down exponentially as it gets closer to us. And so right now the current method does a simple damage check and cancels any incoming damage as long as the player has infinity active. But what we want is to have the entities stop before the player, giving more of that a quote-unquote infinity effect. Okay, and so with the new infinity, let's summon the skeleton again. Whenever it shoots, it actually stops in front of us. Now the entities actually stop right in front of us, and if we move forward, it actually gets pushed back. Always make sure that it doesn't touch the player. If I move too far, it falls back down. Now this also works for every other entity. So like for example, if we were to spawn witches and they throw potions at me, it stops. Okay, wait. Let them throw potions at me. Yep, it stops right in front of me. Also, with potion effects, it doesn't affect me either as long as I have infinity active. So if I were to go here, you can see that I don't have any other potion effect other than infinity and like the acid buffs that you get. Now, this is great and all, but how well does it actually perform? Performance-wise, it should be optimized. This is because infinity has a certain threshold on how many entities it should display around the player, killing off any extras that actually enter the range. And so, if I were to go AFK here for the next hour, we wouldn't be coming back here with a player completely covered in potions, because it guarantees that there are only set number of entities that actually display around the player. I haven't tested this with a large number of players yet, but since the ability is easily scalable, I can simply lower the threshold count in order to keep things running smoothly. Alright, so infinity's all set up to keep you safe, but staying safe doesn't necessarily win you fights. Sometimes you need to bring the fight to you, and that's where blue comes in. So blue and red should work pretty similarly. Both abilities come with 3 variations, a default blast, a projectile blast, and a maximum output. And so creating the logic for each one was pretty straightforward, but I think the real challenge came down to the visuals itself. Now, usually when I create new abilities, the process doesn't take too long once I have a solid plan, but with the limitations of our current particle system, it just wasn't turning out the way I wanted. This looks bland. I feels like it's missing something. Like, I tried to make the visuals work similarly to the current purple we have, but no matter how many times I tell myself that this looks fine, it just doesn't click with me. And there are already a few problems with this current particle system that I have. For one, you can already see the blue's actually just gone, right? And you're just kind of left with this awkward ambience effect. And so I'm just kind of thinking, because if we add in the long-term performance concerns and a few other issues I could list, I'm just kind of thinking Maybe this particle system needs to go to the bin. And I don't know. I have to figure something out. And so I started thinking, what's the solution here? Should I use an existing library out there, stick with the current system, or should I create a new particle library? Well, I went with option 3, to make my own particle library. I wanted to create my own particle library for a couple of reasons. First, it lets me build a system tailored exactly to my needs. It gives me the freedom to update it whenever and however I want, and honestly, I just wanted to learn something new. And since my mod goes for that pixel art aesthetic, I figured making my own particle library would be the best way to keep things looking as consistent as possible. If I do /test, we should see, yep. So we have a plane being rendered into the world. We just need to add a life cycle so that the particles removes itself from the world whenever it goes over the max age. And I'll probably just add like a little fade effect too. So I just spawned a plane here, but over time it should also fade because now it should remove itself. Yeah, you can start to see the opacity getting lower and lower. When this particle disappears, it actually just removes itself from the world. So it's not just invisible. Now we just need to synchronize and we should be good to go. For those who aren't familiar with what I mean by synchronize, let me explain how particles work in Minecraft. Particles are all rendered on the client side. And so whenever a player uses a command to spawn a particle, it actually involves sending a packet. And you can think of packet as like a box of information from the server to the client. The client then receives this box, unpacks the information, and then renders the particle on its end. Particles are rendered on the client, not the server, for a couple of reasons. First, rendering particles on the server would create a huge amount of extra work, especially in multiplayer games with a lot of players and effects. The server's main job is to handle gameplay logic, like tracking player positions, managing health, and ensuring everything runs smoothly. And so by rendering particles on the client, we offload that visual work, letting each player a device handle the particle effects they see. And so this keeps the server focused on the essential stuff, improving performance for everyone. Plus, it also just reduces lag since each player sees effects instantly on their own screen without waiting for the server to process and send updates for every little effect. So what do I mean by synchronize? In our case, when a player spawns a particle, it only appears on their own screen. For nearby players to see the particle as well, we need to synchronize or sync the particle information across clients. This way, everyone in the area can see the effect happening in real time. So if I did this correctly, both screens should be able to see the particle effects because they're synchronized across clients. Yep. Now, here's an issue. Since we sync the particle effect right after it when it's created, we lose the ability to move it dynamically. Because say we manage to move it on one client, how will that movement stay synchronized across all other clients? The only way to ensure that every client sees the particle moving in real time would be to constantly send sync packets to update its position on each client. But as you can imagine, that could really hurt the performance, especially with a lot of particles or players. So I created something called a particle behavior class. These are predefined behaviors that can be applied to each particle individually. With these behaviors, particles can move dynamically on each client without needing the constant synchronization packets. In other words, the movement logic happens entirely on the client side after the initial packet is sent at creation. This way, every client sees the same movement, minimizing the performance load from continuous updates. Okay, so both players can see the particle. And if I move, okay. Now I can actually move around. Yeah, other players can see the particles moving around without having to constantly send the synchronization packets. Okay, God, that took way too long than it should have. Oh yeah, one last thing. Let's try to add custom shaders to these particles because shaders is a game changer. Okay, so just to give you guys a recap, so previously when I was spawning these particles, these were actually using the default Minecraft shaders that were already given to us, right? Now we should be able to also customize what shaders should be used for these particles. I'm pretty sure if we look here in the logs, we can see that our shader has been loaded. So this is our custom shader that we made. So let's do /test. Okay. Give me a sec. All right, now we should be good. So if we do /test, what the? I don't think it should be that big of a deal. Should be fine. What do you? Oh, it's not even. What? The shader is properly loaded, right? So that's 100%. So if I do /test, what the fuck? Okay, well no. What the fuck you mean? Okay, so it should render. But why isn't it in the mic? What? It's not in the game. Am I like blind, bro? I'd assume. Okay, hold on. Let me try using the default shaders here. Okay, so it's just a skill issue. All right, that's my fault then. So it's a shader issue. It's probably the shaders. I don't see anything wrong with it. Wait, is it? Let's use a sampler. There's no way it's because of this. Is it actually because of that? Oh my god, it is. Like, how was I supposed to know that it's... Like, all right, whatever. I guess that's my fault. Yeah, so we got it rendering. This is using our custom shaders. So what this allows us to do is actually change the shaders however we want. So there's something called a fragment shader and a vertex shader. Just think of it as vertex shaders. You can change the vertices of the geometry. And is that correct? Is that a correct explanation? I don't know. Some similar like that. But and then fragment shaders is more with the coloring of each pixel. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I'm scuffed. Since I can change the shaders of how these particles, I actually have this little thing commented out. Now it's gonna look a little wonky, mainly because the vertex shader here only has 4 vertices, and so if we were to have more vertices to the plane, it would look way different. But yeah, if I were to like render it now, you can see that the plane actually just moves. It's like wonky, and this is because we're messing with the vertex shader. And we can do the same thing for the color, the fragment shader. We now get a red particle. Yeah. So we can change the way these are rendered now. What we want to do now is to like assign different shaders to each particle. Okay, I started recording because I'm starting to get frustrated. So I created 2 shaders, right? I have the default shader and the test shader. This one renders the blue, or not blue, it's red. And then this one renders the, what, the blue one? Or no, it's green. So I have a command that summons... Like, what is that? This is not what I fucking said it as. It's like, it doesn't make sense because like okay, so we have 2 different identifiers, or we have 2 different shader programs that we're loading. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to like search up online, try to figure something out. I think I got it. I don't got it. Now we got it. Right? Okay. And then now if we summon a new one, it's just use a different shader. Oh wait, sorry. What the fuck? Why? Wait, why are they connected? Okay, we're good now. I'm confident. Test. Green, and then green. Okay, we're good now. Test. Okay, and then test. Dude, I swear to God, if this shit don't work, whatever. Okay, we're good now. Watch. Test. Red. Green. Okay. We're good now. I'm good. I'm confident. Test. Spawns the green, and then we should... Alright, we're good now. Guys, I swear. If you do test... Oh, wrong shit. Sorry. Test, and then test. Oh my... Dude, it makes no sense because look, okay, the particle is isolated, right? Every instance, there's 20 particles actually in a separate isolated instance, so each one is a new instance, right? Meaning that every one holds different data, okay? And so it doesn't make sense how these are connected anyway because you're sending shit. I'm literally just cursing myself. I need to stop brute forcing this shit. Okay, hold on. I need to think. Let me use my brain. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna try to use my brain. I'm gonna use my brain. I don't care. Man, I'm about to fucking give up, bro. Okay, and then if we do /test and do another one. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's go next. And so after finalizing my particle system, I began to work on blue and red. I implemented the new particle system into the mod, and I changed a few of my effects to use the new particle system. So like pump barrage, like the physical abilities, they're now using the new particle system. You're not gonna really tell the difference between them, but they are different. It's more, I guess, snappy. Anyways, I started to work on blue after implementing the new particle system, and I actually scrapped my previous one. So what do I have? What does the current blue look like now? With the new particle system, we now have a very basic blue ball. Honestly, I like this better than the previous one, even though right now it looks pretty bland, I guess. I don't know, it just fits more into the Minecraft theme. I don't know, I just feel like it's consistent. Obviously, we're not done. This is not the final result. Let's try to add more ambience effect around it and stylize it and see how it'll turn out. All right, I think adding the ambience effect actually changed the effect like quite a lot because this looks pretty insane. Watch. Dude, like it looks so pretty. I don't know, maybe it's because it fits into the Minecraft style, but it looks really nice. I mean, I like it. You have a little bit of an ambience effect behind it, as well as a spiral. Yeah, no, this looks really nice. I think this is probably the best visual effect I've created so far. Yeah, no, I fuck with it. It actually dims your surroundings as well if you use it, so it can actually emphasize the blue effect. So if I were to use it right now, yeah, it like dims the rest of the area. But no, yeah, I'm gonna try to finish up the blue ability now, and I'll come back to you guys once it's done. I just finished making the descriptions for blue. So now we have the basic version, the projectile version, as well as the maximum output. Just for a recap on what the previous blue did. Let me someone a dummy here. Now, previously, the default blue actually simply just drags any entities nearby into the pivot point. And that's it. The new one though, the mastery version, precisely the default version or the basic version, does the exact same thing, except that it actually suffocates them instead. So if I were to use it, they get suffocated for a set number of ticks. Now, it actually does 15 hearts, but it's also applying the fall damage. But yeah, the projectile one is literally the exact same thing as the basic one, but you can shoot it. Yeah, so it does the exact same thing as the default, but you can just shoot it wherever you want. So you can shoot it all the way out there. Like that. Now this is where it gets really cool. The maximum output. So the maximum output is, I mean, if you've seen the show, it's pretty much what it does, right? Yeah, I can just show you guys. Yeah, so it's based on where you're looking at. So like if I just summon it up here, you can see rocks flying around, revolving around it. The range is kind of crazy. This is probably going to change the way I'm going to make a lot of my abilities now. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, this could be really broken because of fall damage. This is supposed to do 15 hearts, right? But because of fall damage, you can probably like increase it by like, okay, yeah. Like, well, how's that fair? Which is why I got rid of fall damage for players and special grades. You can pretty much kill anything if fall damage was a thing. Honestly, I'm pretty sure I can kill a warden with this too. Let's see. Oh, what the fuck? I actually got scared. Right? Dude, wait, how much health does he have? Jesus Christ. Why does he have so much health? My god, dude. Wait, I'm actually curious now. Oh, he's 500. Wait, so how much damage did that do? I guess. But yeah, let's start working on red. I want to know what's better than blue? It's red. Like, compared to blue, 100% way better. Like, obviously it's the same thing, right? But red looks really nice. Compared to blue, red does the exact same thing, pretty much, except instead of suffocating, it just launches everyone away and use the default. Yeah, it launches them back. Same thing for projectile, does the exact same thing as default. Oh. Now, maximum output, I kind of just improvised a little bit, and I decided to make it more of like a unstable version of red. Yeah, it just constantly like explodes. It's kind of mad. It's obviously not like purple because it actually stops once it touches a block or an entity. So with blue and red, we got the basics covered, pulling in enemies, blasting them back. But what about when the two mix? Let's work on purple. The imaginary technique purple is ideally meant to work just like the original one. But since having two identical abilities would be a bit boring, I decided to add a unique twist to set them apart. So, I decided to make the spark version of purple deal less damage than the default one, but with one key advantage. It's controllable. The idea is for players to unlock the spark version before the default purple, so making it weaker gives them a reason to eventually aim for the original one. Now, here's the issue. Spark is still pretty overpowered. Even with the lower damage, being able to change its trajectory just made it pretty broken. So here's the catch. If you take any damage during the build-up, the technique cancels. That's the balancing twist I added to keep things interesting. Alongside with, is to kind of like emulate that you can't create purple right off the bat. Okay, let me try summoning a husk. And I'll deactivate my infinity as well. Shut up. So let me deactivate my infinity. And so now it's gonna actually hurt me, okay? So if I were to hold purple, you can see that I can charge up purple, but if I take damage, it should cancel, and it didn't. What the fuck? Okay, we're good. Okay, so if I were to hold it, and I take damage, you can see that it cancels. And then let's say I charge it up to the actual ability, so now I should be able to use it. If I take damage during this time, it also takes, yeah, it cancels it. So while this ability is still powerful, it comes with a big trade-off. It gives player a choice. They can either, actually, let me kill this guy first. They can either go for the default purple with a one-shot ability with no control, or they can choose the spark version. With spark, you can get a directional control, but risk the technique being cancelled if they take any damage. Yeah, okay. So whenever you try to use ability, the 2 balls will spawn relative to the player's position, meaning that wherever you're actually facing, it's constantly updating in real time. Anyways, the balls, why am I saying it like that? Okay, then the 2 orbs just interpolate so that they accelerate as they get close to the center. But now we just need to add the actual logic. Let's go. So we should have the blue and red spawn, and it should merge at the end. What? Okay. Yeah, and now we just need to work on the actual merging logic and finalize it. Let me just finish that up. Wash, 미쳤다 씨. Wait, how the fuck did I make this? Wait, this actually looks really good. Wait, I didn't expect it to look like this. But god damn, wait, this actually looks better than the blue and red. Yeah, I also made it where it like distorts the color. So if you look at the moon right now and I use it, you can see like the red and blue getting distorted. This to kind of like emphasize the purple to distort the space a little bit in terms of like lighting. Look at the ritual box. Dude, that shit is cursed. Wait, you can see all the 3 colors. RGB. 3, 2, 1. Hole. Might be busted. Might need to tweak it a little bit. Technically, you can snipe people with this. I could be hiding up here, right? And someone can be all the way over there and I can still hit them. And it's instantaneous too. Like, so you see that cow over there? All right, he's gone now. Like, like what? There's no counterplay. Okay, hold on. Let me actually see how far it goes. 2, 1. Okay, so there's that. I mean, I'll keep it like this for now, but obviously if it gets too overwhelming, we might want to tweak it a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much what imaginary technique purple is going to look like. That's the final version. I am probably going to make a video. I feel like it would be a waste to not make a video with shaders. Other than that, let's start testing these out. Let's test it here. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we can use maximum blue. Dude, they just die from fall damage. And then we can use max bread here. Okay, that looks nice. Yeah, fuck. Who's spitting on me? What am I hearing? Oh. Bye-bye. So he's max blue. Dude, wait, it gets sent far back. Where'd it go? Did it die? Oh, it did die. How do we use blue and red together? Let's see. I mean, I haven't really tested it out, but I'd assume you probably start off with blue and then use red. Typically how the old blue and red worked. In the past, what people would do is they would use blue to drag and then you just start punching them, right? Or you can do blue and then spot red below it. So it launches it back. Where the fuck did it go? Okay, but yeah. That's typically how people use it, like that. Now with the new stuff, I'd assume it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you have to charge up, but generally I think you can do the same thing. Okay, you probably have to wait until the suffocation is gone because the suffocation will continue to drag the entities into blue before you launch it. Oh. So you gotta time it more compared to the old previous ones. All right, let's test out all my abilities with purple. I'm not gonna use infinity for a lot of these fights, or I'm not even gonna use it at all. And first person we're gonna fight is Toto. Go. Okay, I think the best move here is just to, against Toto, is probably just use red whenever he like claps, because he's always close range, right? There we go. Oh shit! I'm sorry. What the fuck is happening, bro? I'm sorry. I think I killed him. I think I'm gonna, okay, what I'm gonna do is just to show how purple works in fights, I'm gonna use infinity just for the purple. Or I am gonna use it during the fight. We'll see. Okay, maximum. Boy, that's like a guaranteed black flash type hit. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna use Infinity now. I hate going against him. Honestly, I can't really say anything because I know the moment you use Infinity, like this class becomes extremely broken. It's just that you can't really perform well without Infinity since this ability gets cancelled. You can't even use this ability. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this plays out before I make any changes of them. But I do think I'm pretty happy with these abilities. I think with the new Black Flash and all the new Limitless abilities, the Limitless technique is probably going to end up pretty broken. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to try something new and just to give you guys a behind the scenes look at what goes on into developing this mod. Honestly, it gets a little rough not being able to connect with you guys with college keeping me busy, but yeah, thanks for sticking around. I hope you guys have a great day. If you guys would like to support me, I do have a Patreon and the link in the description below, but other than that, I'll catch you sometime in the future, hopefully. Goodbye.